All right, we made it. I'm gonna turn the fan off in a second, but it was still a little warm in here because we didn't have the AC on in here. But I got my meat sticks on deck, my full metal meat sticks, and some water, and we're gonna do good. I know this is like we're not supposed to do it every Wednesday. I get it, but you know, I had some things I want to talk about, and I figured why not just pop in here on Wednesday and do it. So I got Wendy building me a list over here of the things I want to go through. This is probably not going to be a super long live, hopefully, but we're going to kind of go over a couple things. We're going to do membership stuff. Again, I just want to kind of fill you guys in on what the membership stuff is going to entail and what each level is. And then we're going to do some giveaway stuff because people like free stuff. I mean, I love free stuff. So why not? V3 front shirts. I thought you did that.
I don't have a V3 front one. I do have a neon V3 shirt.
A neon V3 shirt. Okay. She's working on it. She's working on it. All right. I still think this is the best shirt ever, if I say so myself. Oh, hold on. I gotta fix my chair. All right. All right. Cool, cool. Turn that back on 1 because it's still kind of warm in here. All right. So let me know if, on 1. Let me know if that fan is messing the audio up. If it is, I'll turn it off and I'll sweat it out. But, you know, we'll see. All right. So I just want to give everybody just a minute to get in here. Even though we announced it earlier, it was a pop-up. So I want to give you guys just a minute to kind of gather. And then we're going to go over this. We're going to go over the membership stuff. And I think it's going to be very beneficial. Somebody has already taken us up on it. And he's in Australia. He does tuning already. And he was having issues with the vehicle. And he was able to, because he's a gold member, reach out to me and send me the file. Here's the issues I'm having. And I was like, here, try this. Went through, made a few revisions for him. He didn't have to pay for a full tune, you know, but he's still got to deal with the fueling, the timing, the things like that, right? But I can get you out of a bind. And I think that's something that I don't think a lot of people have access to, right? Not many people can call another tuner and be like, hey, I'm kind of stuck. I need to figure this out. So instead of fighting it for, you know, a bunch of days for $49.99 a month, you can call me and be like, hey man, I'm stuck. Help me. Boom, boom. You're done. You're out of that bind. I think it's actually insanely cheap, but we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it works. The main reason I think for it, in my mind, was to kind of get tuners that don't really have the ability to pay, but they're trying to learn. And instead of letting them mess up a customer's car, right? They have access to somebody that can give them that insight for a reasonable amount of money for them. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and go with it. All right, so basically, I think a lot of this is generic. A lot of this is just how the deal works, right? Again, I didn't really think I wanted to do memberships, but a lot of people reached out and asked if we would. So I wanted to make sure that it was beneficial to everyone. 1 second. Do you have everything turned on for the chat? Good. Make sure Wendy's got her job handled. So basically, there's 3 different levels. There's bronze, silver, and gold. Okay. Bronze is $2.99, gives you, loyalty badges, members only chat. I wondered if it gives you access to the members' videos. Okay. Damn, you see how she treats me? Anyway, so $2.99, just basically, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you, right? And I'm grateful for it. You guys know I'm grateful for it. And I hope it's really, I feel like this is helping. I've got a lot of people reaching out, telling me how excited they are that we're giving this info out and that it is helping them. So hopefully they're not BSing me. Anyways, so $2.99, you get loyalty badges. People know that, you're helping support the channel. Members only chats, priority comment replies, which I try to hit all your comments right away anyways, but this is kind of just, if you throw a comment in there and you're a supporter of the channel, it alerts me and I make sure that is answered accordingly. So level 2 is $9.99 a month. It is silver. So it has early access to new videos. So when we drop podcasts or things like that, you guys are going to get that first. Okay. So early access to new videos, member shout outs. It doesn't say how to do that. So what I want to do is when we get a member, when I start this, I'm going to do basically a list of the names, because I believe that if you're supporting me, I want to support you and show, hey, these guys are helping me out. So member shout outs, I'll make sure to start adding that to the videos. Give me a moment. Let me learn. I'm going to learn it. Gives you better updates on status. I don't know what that means. Better updates on status.
Yeah, like when you make a post or something like that, to get better alerts for it.
Okay, so I guess you get better alerts for when we do make a post. And then the biggest part of the $9.99, I think it's going to help people, is the members only videos. Because I've said it 100 times, I'm not a teacher. I just don't want to teach. I don't think that it's my thing. We never know, right? But what I do want to do is, so I filmed 2 of these videos already. It's stuff that like I would walk a customer through, but it's not something I'm just like super interested in putting out to the internet yet, right? So like there's a certain procedure that I do with 8 speeds to adapt them quickly. Okay, so a procedure to clear the adapts, a procedure of how I actually run through and get all that set up. And it's very crucial to your success with an 8 speed. We need to put stickers on the site. We're going to work on that. She's doing that now. So basically what I'm going to make videos, one of the first ones I did is, hey, this is how I do my 8 speed adapt process. This is what it looks like. I'm doing it in a car. I videoed it in a car. I explain everything. It'll be a members only thing, right? $10 a month. You're going to get these videos. I will try to do more than 1 to 2 a month. I don't know, but I will make sure that they're good information that you want to know. Another one I'm going to do, and I've got a film. I had to go out there and replicate it. But basically is the intake air temp boost reduction, or it'll actually limit boost, throttle, whatever you want. But basically walking you through how to build that table. So if you want to make sure that your car is super safe, and you want to make sure that, if the intake air temp goes up and your tuner may not have this table set up yet, you could say, hey man, I'm in the member section. I saw this, how to do this, build this table this way, right? I'm going to walk you through how to build that table. It's not really teaching tuning, but I will be watching and getting the comments and stuff from you guys on what you do want to learn. And it will be tuning based. It will be vehicle based, track prep based, things like that. So more techie videos. So more for the guys that are like trying to get that extra information that I probably just wouldn't share with the general public. It's not gatekeeping. It's just these things are something that I hold towards my customers, right? And I'd like it to go out to other people, because I know even if I'm not your tuner, these videos will still help you be successful with your tuner, provided everything's done correctly in his or her portion. So that's it. $9.99 gets you early access to the videos, member shout outs. You're going to be put on the list, quicker updates, and members only videos. Cover that. We're good to go. This membership is for tuners only, or people. No, membership is for anybody, right? If you want to learn to tune, you don't want to learn to tune. If you're like, hey man, I want to know, how do you prep your tires at the track? What do you do when you're getting ready to go to the track? What are things that you look for? So before I go to the track and I go to prep my car or Wendy's car, which we're going back in April to do, I'll make a video on exactly what I do and what I'm looking for and things like that at the track. When you see us at the track and we're in the pits kind of messing, you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing. So that'll be what the members only stuff is. It's more of a deep dive into how we run our operation. And the dive that I think most tuners won't tell you, right? But I'm getting old and nice and trying to help people out. So I think that as Matt kind of told me, he was like, just keep putting out that good information and it'll come back to you. And I honestly believe him. So I think it's going to do good and it's going to help other people, which is going to help me in return. All right, so we got bronze, $2.99, silver, $9.99. Now the gold. The gold is the one that is more if you are trying to learn to tune, or if you're just really nice. You just really appreciate the information. But also if you just want to be able to reach out and, ask questions, because I'm going to have to eventually limit how many phone calls I take just to take, right? And it's not being mean. It's just that we have a consultation for a reason. But if you have just a few random questions every now and then, and you want that one-on-one access, if you support my channel, I'll support you. That's where the gold's going to come in. So it gives you all of the silver and the bronze things, the loyalty badges, the members only, the updates, the members only videos, but it also gives us some one-on-one contact, right? It'll give you access to hit me up directly. If you're trying to tune and you're in a position and you're a tuner and you need help, that will do that. I'll give you that information. Before I go further, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, make sure to move over to Tuned In with JWT on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, help us out. This community is building, and I really, after I keep talking to people, I really feel like this is definitely the right direction. I feel like everything's going really well. We're not building substantially, but it will. And the more we get out there, the more we're going to get other businesses that want to help. I believe, because I've had other tuners reach out and be like, hey man, I want to be part of your deal here. I want to help other tuners too, right? So I'm going to work on building a network of top guys to kind of, I can't tell you everything. It's coming. But all of this has to kind of play out. But again, so the like, share, subscribe, it's just, helping us out. Something I want to make sure I didn't miss. John Chilton, he's got a V3 that we just kind of started tuning, and he's doing light mods to it, and he's been super patient, super great guy. I really wanted to thank you, John. I appreciate everything. He kind of dealt with me when I was dealing with some trying to get some other things handled, get some other people going. He seems to be very happy with his car, and Wendy's going to get stickers on the site. But thank you for the donation. I just wanted to give you that quick shout out. And we have Race Ready Tuning. So that's Spencer. Even little things like the correct channel configs to use for tuning certain areas. See so many tuners not logging essential data to tune right. Right. So I think I'm going to try to build certain configs for certain vehicles. That way it's a little more data specific. I looked on Matt Stanford's site where I think it's tuning-tips.com, where he sells like certain configs for certain cars, because it takes a lot to set this stuff up. He has certain math channels and all. So I may do something like that. I don't know that I'll sell them. I think I'll just have them on there for you guys to download. But again, remember that I'm trying to learn. Just because I can tune cars doesn't mean I'm good with computers. So we're getting there. But thank you for the donation, Harold. I appreciate that. Spencer, same thing. Oh, you have two first names. It's weird. I hope you all realize how lucky you are to have him share his knowledge. Damn sure worth it. Yeah. Thank you, Bo. Yeah, Bo's been with us for a long time. He's traveled hundreds of miles to help us at many, many races. So he's one of the 4 to 5 people that they ever need anything, they've got it handled. No problem. Jack, I appreciate it. Jax, thank you for the donation. Sucks I bought a bunch of parts you said I don't need. Love the channel and your fan videos. Can't wait to have you take a look at my Turbo Camaro. Look, this channel is going to fix that. Right. I was actually just doing a consultation before this, and that's part of what got this channel started, was because of how many times I had to tell people, hey, I know you spent 50 grand, but half of those parts suck. Now you have no excuse because it's here. The info is here. You can ask. I will give the information. I'm not really holding back on anything. There's certain specific tuning things that I do that obviously, this is my business. I have to make a living. But I'm not going to let you fail. Right. I'm going to make sure that I give you enough information that you're successful, because when you're successful, I'm successful. I think that's how it's going to work. So thank you for that donation, Jax. All right. So I'm going to go back to more questions, but give me a minute. So basically we have our levels, right? Bronze, silver, gold. So whatever you choose, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to give the information no matter what. If you do it, it's very greatly appreciated, and we'll give you it. It'll pay for itself time and time again. Something that we may do, and I still got to deal with Wendy and make sure that it's okay. So I was thinking, if you do the gold membership, the $49.99, and if you stay with it for 6 months, we're going to come up with an amount, but we'll give you a portion off of a full tune if you'd like to do a tune, right? Probably 150, 200 bucks, something like that. So you do your membership, you're on there for 6 months. You get that much off of a tune, it kind of gives you back your money in a way, but just something to kind of show you that I appreciate it. Answer Fidel. Fidel was asking about merch. We have merch. Fidel asking about merch, justinwhitetoon.shop, right? That's shirts like this. And we're going to do some tuned in with JWT shirts, I think, as well. There already is.
About 40 options.
Wendy says there's 40 options on there. So you guys, yeah, she works hard on getting everything done. And I think she's doing a killer job. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm trying to, never mind. It's not PG. Anyways, so giveaway. A lot of people do giveaways and there's always some kind of like catch to it. I didn't really want to do a catch, right? I know that it's beneficial for us to have our merch out there. We appreciate you wearing the merch, supporting it, showing and building the community with it. So, but I want to have a way to give back, right? So I'm going to read it off her list because I don't remember everything. Basically, it's going to be every 200 shirts sold, we're going to give away a free tune. If you're already tuned by us and you get that tune, you can gift that tune to someone else. Or if you have a 3-month revision, right, it'll cover that. So for every 200 shirts, we will pick a name, 1 shirt, 1 entry. We'll pick a name out of that and I'll shoot you a message and you get a free tune, which is, you know, $750 to $1,000 value depending on your vehicle. Or if you're just doing a revision, $550. It's a good bit, right? You're buying a shirt, you're getting the stuff, and some people are going to get some free stuff. And then we may do random picks through there to do free shirts. So I literally just added that, winging it. She didn't even put that in there. But just make sure you go to justinwhitetoon.shop, pick out some shirts, support the channel, support us. We're going to support you. And some people are going to get some free stuff out of there. All right, let's go back to some of the questions real quick. So if you have questions on membership or something like that, let's make sure we go through that. That way we make sure we cover all of that 100% because that's what this live is about, the membership and the free stuff, because free stuff's cool. Michael is actually the reason we do this on Wednesdays. He always gives his input. He always hits me with the, hey man, what are we talking about this week? And I appreciate that. And just want to give you a quick shout out, man. Thank you. Thank you for helping us and helping kind of grow this. All right, let's see. That is such a vague question. You've got to give way more context than that. How much wheel should I be making on 9 PSI on a Z06? Cam, head, combo, blower, a lot of different info. He said, yeah, and yeah, Z06, C7, C6, C8. John, dang, bro, calm down. I appreciate it again. Thank you for everything. I'm glad you're my tuner. Here's some more money for being awesome. Appreciate it, man. You guys sent me lunch money the other day. I definitely used it. I appreciate that for sure. All right. Desert 1320. I was supposed to say that. Don't you have like a crazy fast car out of Cali, I believe? Desert 1320. I remember that. That's very familiar. Let me know so I remember. How do you like the Performance Supercar C7 Twin Turbo Kit? I like it a lot, actually. It's very good quality. He's done a couple more turbo kits for some other customers of mine. And this weekend, we're going to find out how good it really is because we're going to push that stock motor and see if we can break 200 in the half mile with it. If you haven't done the half mile before, 200 in the half mile is a pretty solid feat. So if we get it, just know that we worked our ass off for it. We previously went 194, but we only had 7-pound wastegate springs, so we were limited to 18 pounds of boost. We need just a pinch more. But the kit seems to be very solid. This is 62 millimeter turbos that are on this car, and we've made 1294, I think, with it already. Local guy's having a ton of issues with his 10-speed swap. He's debating going back to A8. Tried sending them to you, so who knows? Man, we've been doing a lot of 10-speed swap stuff. Sean with Powertrain Swap Solutions, you know, he's the guy that did my wife's 10-speed swap, and we love it. It is a little difficult to get the tuning done on them, but that's where you get that gold membership, or you pay for a tune and I can help, you know, set it up for you. I've done 10-speed swaps in pretty much everything at this point, and I haven't had one that I was like, oh, I probably should go back to the 8-speed. Not one. The merch, we have a full website of merch, about 40 options. Just keep that in mind, justinwhitetoon.shop. And then we'll be doing the giveaways as well. Shout out to my dog Wayne and Lori. I saw she got some new parts. Excited. Bro, I just gave you a shout out. How you gonna pick Wendy? You're supposed to pick me. All right. Marcellus Patton, listening to the video while literally driving back home to California from Summit Racing in Nevada. Finally got the parts you told me to go get. I'll be ready for some more logs real soon. Hell yeah. I'm excited for that one. I'm glad we're gonna try to make some real power with that thing. So, and thank you for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. Married to my wife in the game. Thank you, NHG. Will you ever come to Cali? Yeah, I told you we're coming to Cali. When are we going to Cali? Around August, July or August area. So it will be, you know, LA and down. That's where we're going. And then we're probably going to end up going north. So we may hit the bottom and just ride that whole thing up. Oh, okay. I didn't see your question. If you're doing a tuning with us, right, and we do, you know, you get your first 2-hour window, that kind of gets us the file built and gets everything going. And then I hit files, you know, as I go through other ones, right? So I've got a schedule, and that's my priority for the day. And then if you're not on that list, then I just knock yours out as I'm going. If you need it done quicker, or you have a time to hit or something like that, make sure to book revisions. There's a free option once you've already done your tune. For 3 months, you get free revisions, right? So it doesn't matter what you change, doesn't matter your mods. If you go from a stock car and we tuned it and then you twin turbo it, for 3 months, it's free. It doesn't matter. Make sure you book it though, because that's the only way that I can make sure I dedicate that time to get you going. If you don't book the revisions and you're like, man, I've been waiting 2 weeks, and man, if I have a really booked up 2 weeks, then, and you weren't in there and I didn't get to you, you know, it's not on purpose. Make sure you book those slots. Make sure you just click it. It's current customer revision. It's a 30-minute slot. But even if it's a 30-minute slot, even if it's, you know, 2 o'clock and you know you won't be off work till 5, book it anyways, because that shows me, hey, this guy needs it done quick. Let me make sure I get his revision out. You know, I was up till 4 o'clock this morning, you know, doing revisions for people just to make sure that when today came, I was ready to get the ball rolling. But make sure you book those revisions. That way I can kind of keep everything going. Boostly, I love free shit too. That's why I figured, why not? Justo Lopez, I need to know. My B, just headers, upper, lower, pulley C7. Again, depends on what fuel. There's a lot more to this. Robert Johnson. Robert actually was the guy that allowed us to use his engine to do the cam testing. So all the LT4 cam testing knowledge we got was courtesy of Robert Johnson. So thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. He's got a pretty sick, nasty ZL1. So I'm excited that he's finally getting back to it. He took a little bit of time off, which so did I last year. So it's time for everybody to go out there and kick some ass. 6L80, no torque management on wide open shifts. Only it still pulls timing for shifts still. Do you think it can live for a long time that way? Why do you have no torque management on the shifts on a 6L? You can tune them without torque management, but I do not suggest that for a street car. Typically, I only do that in a I absolutely have to case. Case in point, Wendy's car makes 1400 wheel, and she has full torque management on the 6L when she had a 6L. The 10-speed still has torque management too. I have the silver Evo 9 that we raced against your customer's white Camaro a few years ago. It takes 2K. Been watching a lot of your videos. Recently picked up a C7. Oh, the one that gapped the fuck out of us. That's how I remember you. Do you remember that silver Evo with Street Runners? And he ran Charlie's white Camaro. I didn't forget. Bully. But anyways, you know, if you need help with that C7, holla at your boy. I'd be more than happy to help you out. But that Evo was nasty. Kind of snuck us. He's like, it's just the Evo. Yeah, it was. Should have known better. But we ain't scared. All right. Why are you not working? Hold on. My thing's acting weird. Your computer's acting weird. Well, let me pull a comment up. There we go. Boom. All right. Austin Tran, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. How do you get 345, 35, 18 to fit a Stingray? You're going to love this. Raystar wheels. Raystar wheels are the only 18s that fit a Stingray properly, that can fit that tire without hitting anywhere. Also, I trimmed the inside of my fender. If hit me up and I can kind of get you pictures when I get back on the 10th or the 11th, because I fly in on the 10th. They're scrubbing very badly. Also, is it worth selling a YSIB for Maggie 2650 built LT1 with E and port? Depends on what you're trying to do, but I'm not a huge fan of centrifugal blowers. I like them. I think they're cool. I think they have their place, but depends on what you're really trying to do with it. The YSI is going to give you a lot better chance at traction on the street, things like that. But the Maggie's just a gangster if you can control it and put it all down. Mark Derry, thank you for everything. We're going to Hondo too. We'll see you there. Hell yeah, man. I'm flying in Friday. I get in at like 6:45, Uber to my storage, grab my truck, and I'm off to Hondo. So I will be out there the whole weekend, and I fly back here Monday. All right, let's see. Preferred wideband placement. So this is like a thing. A lot of people ask me this. Rear O2 hole, anywhere within 6 to 8 inches behind the primary O2, ideally. But a rear O2 sensor hole is perfectly fine. I know some people say passenger or driver, but honestly, I've never seen it matter. So passenger is probably easier to run wires through, if that helps. All right, let's see. I'm gonna book a tune with you next month. I'm excited. I'm excited too, man. I do this because I love doing this. You'll find that out as we work together. You, sir, are a liar. It was very bad. It was way worse than I wanted it to be, because that Camaro was pretty damn fast. Have you ever done cam testing on LSAs, LS3 like y'all did with the LT4? Yeah. The BTR stage 3 torque cam, that was us. But we've also learned that, you know, somebody's talking about my Starlink. But yeah, so it honestly follows a lot like the LT4 testing turned out, right? Most of this Rick Crawford has been doing for a long time. He's got the baddest LSA cams out there. But him and Brian work together. So I think the same thing kind of goes. The 217 to whatever exhaust cam seems to be one of the best ones there for all around power. What's wrong with my Starlink, man? You remember, if you don't know this, I live on a mountain in the middle of the ocean, almost in South America. I think it's doing pretty damn good. No torque management on the 6L80 because it's cutting throttle on shift. Trans was happier with 100 more horsepower than I have now. It makes no sense. Brad, I'll be 100% honest with you. If it's cutting the throttle, okay, it's because the trans is telling you that it's not happy. So something that it's getting from the engine side or something that's in that transmission tune is not happy. When I dropped my members only video about how to reset the trans adapts and how to relearn it, that also goes for 6 speeds. So you may could try that. That may help you, or it'll at least show you what gear has the slack in it and where you need to work at. But you shouldn't have to turn any of that off. I mean, we've made 1,400 literally with full torque management with no, very minimal timing pull, no throttle pull at all. So that's not, there's something else going on there. Let's see. What is the best rim and tire to run on my V3? Best rim and tire for V3? I'm not the best one to answer that, to be honest with you. I'm not certain. Hopefully somebody in here with a V3 will be able to help. Probably hit up Wayne Russell. He's in here. He's got a V3 with a bunch of different wheels. If he wants to sponsor me them rear 15s, he let me borrow. Holler. I'm having a 3600 stall put in. I'd like to have you look at the log or two when I get it back. That's not a problem. I don't mind looking at the log or looking at the tune, but if you need advice on how to fix it and you're not ready to pay for a tune, that's where that $49.99 comes in. Fidel, are you going to be in Houston soon? Yes, April 10th to like 15th or 19th, we'll be in Houston. We'll be doing a lot of moving because we're moving our fifth wheel and a lot of our cars. We're kind of getting everything sorted up there. So, but we'll be out there. We'll be working. Dexter, what's up, man? Just pull the engine out 10 minutes ago for some upgrades. Oh, hell yeah. I'm ready when you're ready. Let's see. Da-da-da. Tanner, thanks for replying. I'm ready to get the Justine White sauce on my stock Silverado. Hey, look, ain't nothing wrong with that. Stock Silverados. Look, my Escalade with some E85, that thing's a gangster. I'd be gapping them Raptors like it ain't shit. What specs on Raystars to fit? I think it's an 18 by 10. I don't know the offset. If that is on the wheel, hit me up around like the 11th or 12th. I'll be by the car and I'll check it. I really don't know, honestly, but they do fit perfect. The DSC controller for the suspension, my buddy Matt Orzak, the guy that does a lot of the builds for us, he has one on his car and he seems to like it, but I had issues when I tried to speak to them and they were very, you should know how this works. And I didn't know how it worked. That's why I was calling. So I kind of gave up and I really haven't needed it. So it'd be cool if it does do a lot. Let's see, 1710 for making 850 wheel. Oh, there we go. Okay, for the V3 wheel question, there you go. How much power can the C706 LT4 take safely, and what's too much pushing it? We'll define what safely is, right? Because anything past stock power is technically not safe. But again, the blue car that I did is a stock LT4. It's been 194.5 miles, roughly 1,050 horsepower, but it's a turbo car. We made 1280 or 1290 with it after, and we're going to run at 1,200 something in the half mile. So if we can make that live through the whole half, obviously that shows it's pretty good. I've made upwards of 15 to 1,600 several times with a stock LT4. I've only ever lost one LT4 in my tuning career, which I'm pretty proud of that. And we kind of did that one on purpose. We were just trying to see something. But I would say with a PD blower or something that's jerking on the crank, something like that, 1,100 is where you really want to kind of chill out. Positive, just like if you got like a centrifugal blower, 1,400, and then turbos around 15, 16. That's typically what I would consider the most you can make and it live for, years with a good tune. That also means proper fueling, proper everything. Bo, if you feel like coming to Houston and helping us move, I will definitely not say no. Why you got to borrow 15s at what event? The Bilax are just chilling. Because I'm poor. I can't afford. Nor, if you've noticed, I'm not a big wheel person either. Like, I like my Raystars. If Raystar hooked me up with a set of 15s, I'd run Raystars. But I really like the billet specialties. Wendy has those on her car. They look beautiful. And Wayne had some for his V3 and he let me use them. And he kind of spoiled me because I really liked them. But I also wasn't ready for 15s because I was just roll racing. But I'm putting the car back together for dig racing now. So 15s are the way. Taylor, can I run 100% nitro NA with LT4? You can do it one time. One time. It'll go real fast one time. Meth versus port injection. Really depends. Meth is a good way to get where you need to go on a budget, right? Meth's $500 to $1,000 the way you configure it. Port is about $2,500 depending on how you configure it. So two different ways to skin the same cat, I guess. Ultimately, port injection with meth, if you need it for temperature, is the route that I would choose. I'm going to get you to love the Atlas. Only thing I'm kicking myself about is the 2 IPSI lockup you talked about previously. Look, I have no issue with it. I'm going to tune several of them, I'm sure, and they're going to do whatever they need to do. Not a problem. But I do, if they had the lockup stuff and all of the other little things that the Reflex has, that would be beneficial. So maybe talk to them and be like, hey, we should at least do what Reflex is doing since it costs more. That would be really cool. No inputs, no outputs currently. I think they're working on that. But without that, yeah, the no TCC lockup kind of sucks. Because that definitely helps. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because we don't tune your car, and that's tough shit. That's not something I'll ever put out publicly. Bro, Calm down. Fury over there. Hopefully future doctor, hopefully not future general. V3 are very specific, I believe, is 7.5 backspace. It's like a ZL1. They run an odd setup that's not C6 friendly. Yeah, but well, Wayne's V3 wheels fit my C7 pretty damn well. They stuck out a little bit, but they weren't bad. They still looked really good. Your opinion on where you can safely leave GPI drop-ins on an LT1 wheel horsepower wise. Will a Maggie be harder on the motor than a centrifugal? Yeah, a Maggie will be harder on the motor because it makes more peak torque lower. That being said, I have GPI drop-ins in my car, but I have an upgraded rod. So I have the Ultra H-beam rods, but with the GPI drop-in pistons. And I've put down 1,300 wheel with them and ran. I mean, I currently make about 1,200 blower only without an issue. So I don't think the piston's going to be a limit, honestly. The Hideout TV, what drop-in piston do you recommend for the LT1 to forge the bottom end? GPI drop-ins. For those that don't know, the Hideout TV, it's a buddy Anthony. He's helped me with this channel from day one. He's the one that helped me kind of get this stuff set up. So big shout out to you, man. I really appreciate everything you do for us. And I saw your email. I just wanted to be able to sit down and actually go through it. He's working on helping us better the channel and giving us a good outside perspective and trying to teach us the ins and outs. If you do have social media that you need somebody to kind of help you get it going and is a wealth of knowledge, hit him up. If he's like, oh man, you should have told him that, too bad, hit him up. I'm not going to bring my car to bragging rights only because I'm already going to tune several cars. So I usually don't like bringing my car to an event where I have to focus on customer cars. And then from there, we're going straight up to New York. So I don't want to drag the cars around. But I need 15s in general to start testing my car because it's time to start pushing that car a little harder. Alpha Gaming, port injector, $2,500. Yeah, 2 IPSI, plates, controller, injectors, everything is around $2,500. And I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with. $2,500 is super, super cheap. Max effort bolt-on, no heads, cams, C85 6-gen Camaro versus max effort bolt-on 5.0 Mustang. The Camaro wins. I have yet to see a Mustang NA versus max effort NA Camaro outrun them. I'm sure mod for mod is specific, right? But I mean, I've seen so many NA Camaros go mid-8s that I just haven't seen the Mustangs do it. But once you add boost, we're screwed. Have you ever had a pump not work at wide open throttle after you change a battery, then reconnect it and it works fine? I guess then it needed a reset. Yeah. So you must have the DSX controller. I did make a video on that. I know a lot of people took that the wrong way. And honestly, I was being facetious too. But yeah, basically it's an issue with the C7s. If you lose battery, you unplug it or something, or your battery dies over time, you need to actually go in the fender and unplug the module and then plug it back in and it'll work perfectly fine. Good rule of thumb is when you go to start your car and you're ready to go race, you push the gas pedal down, it should prime the pump. If it doesn't prime the pump, something's wrong. Make sure you check it. Hey man, what time is it for you? Because I feel bad texting you 10 or 9 my time. So I know, look, my work day stops at 8, right? But again, I try to make sure because sometimes it takes me a little longer to get to people. So I do at nighttime, it's a little easier for me to kind of do some catch up. If I answer, cool. It's not an issue. If I'm sleeping, I'm just not going to answer. The phone's on silent anyways. So don't feel bad reaching out. Worst case, I'll read it in the morning. But right now it is currently 8:40 p.m. here. Andrew G, every single live. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You've been a hell of a supporter, and I wanted to thank you directly. What's the power limitation of a dog box trans? Mansplain it, please. It depends on what dog box and how that works. I mean, if you take and consider like a Liberty, which right is kind of a dog box, they say that they've never broke one and they hold 5,000 horsepower. So I don't know, but if it's a dog box that has got them straight cut gears and that whine, oh, one day I'm going to do that. Paul, thank you, man. Paul's got a really nice CTSV. We've been tuning for him for quite a while. No problem, man. I told you, anytime you need something, just holler at me. I don't mind helping you out. Jax, if the Reflex had a switch / button for boost control maps, would be amazing. That's why I went boost leash. The Pro Box is coming. Greg Walsh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting the channel and the donation. It's greatly appreciated. How do you deal with the LT4 transmission, 8L90, 4 to 5 acting up like it wants to grab at the same time it doesn't? If you have the $9.99 membership, you will see the member video that is coming out, and that Transit app reset will fix that for a while. And if you log it, you'll be able to see what it fixed and why you were feeling that. But we'll have to set up a channel list for that too. So yeah, it's totally fixable, but it's an adapt issue. All love, man. Page 9 is all that needs for you both. I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna hit you up. So thank you for, don't think that I'm not appreciative. I promise you I am. Well, if you don't need the wheels for bragging, I won't bring them for you. Well, at least come to hang out though. But I'm not gonna bring my car. I'm gonna be working with like Tim King's Blackwing. We're gonna try to go 8s on 18s with that thing and a couple other cars. And I want to make sure that when I go to the track for people, I like to try to make sure I focus on them. And when my car's there, it's hard for me to focus. How much power can you make with port injection on a stock C7Z fuel line? I don't know. I've made 1,300 so far with a stock C7Z fuel line or C7 Stingray fuel line, which I think they're the same anyways. So there's a lot more to that, but that's in a future podcast that we're going to discuss why that's not a problem in my opinion. Does the social media guy work with startup small businesses? Just a little soap business for the girl. I'm pretty sure he does. Anthony, if you're still watching, reach out. I'm telling you, the information he gave me to help me with this channel, I think is priceless, and I'm very, very grateful for it. Best cold air intake setup, such as bell mouth, OTR, or closed box. Your thoughts? Depends on what you're trying to do. For all out racing, the OTR seems to be the best with a bell mouth. Closed box is good for road course, things like that, where you need the air to stay cold. But I guess an OTR would do that too. So, John, we made a video. It's on my channel already. The first 3 mods for a CTS for an LT4, and it's on a V3. Follow that. That's the first one you want to do for sure, 100%. Did Wendy link it?
No, I can. I will. It'll be the second link.
All right, she'll link it. You made 1,300 wheel with the stock fuel line. So much for my Dash 10. Yeah, Dash 10 is a horrible idea. Sorry, I know I keep giving you this bad news. Yeah, Dash 10 is not a good idea. It's actually a negative. So I'm not saying everybody run 1,300 with a factory fuel line. I'm just saying it works perfectly fine. You're good for bragging. I'm going Friday, so I may just cook. Got nothing. No one else going. Oh, well, like I said, come hang out. J Kid. Just want to say thank you. I didn't realize you did a cleanup for my C7 while we were talking. Look, I told you, man, I got you. You've been, cool with me for a long time. We worked on cars together, and I knew you, needed a little help. So not a problem, man. What would you do to make 700? Oh, easy. I would, if I was just trying to make 700-800. Are we talking about with a cam, without a cam? Because, I mean, we can make up to 900 without a cam. So it just depends on which route. And honestly, dude, it just depends on which route you want to go based on your financial situation. Because port would always be my first route, so I don't have to deal with fuel issues. And then decide on the mods from there because I'm no longer limited. That's how I did my car. I put port on it before I even needed port. So that way I never had to worry about it. I could always run whatever fuel I wanted. At one point, I ran a centrifugal blower on straight M1. Because I could. Then I realized how much fuel that burns. What would be the best low side pump for C7Z doing port injection? Currently, I talked with the guys over at SMG Speed, and they actually give you a discount if you go to check out. They make a dual aux pump setup now, which can run off of the Reflex as well, or any pulse width output can run these fuel pumps. So you can do it in a single fuel pump or a dual fuel pump, depending on how much power you want to make. And smgspeed.com, I believe it is. And at checkout, code Justin White should get you a discount. That's what I'll be running when I change to my car. On my car right now, I'm currently running an aux pump with a boost pump. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying it's what I got. But yes, go to SMG Speed, get that, or the DSX aux pump does work fine, but I took the controller off and ran it with my reflex. In a Camaro, go mid-8s and a quarter mile bolt-ons, or they need heads and cam. Stock bottom end, I don't think I've ever gotten in the 8s without heads and cam. Bolt-ons definitely not mid-8s. That would be insane. If you got a bolt-on going mid-8s, that's you're a bad bitch. Tyler, check those pics I sent you. The ZR1 tune's going to be on hold. Oh, come on, Tyler. You didn't break it already, did you? We were just going to tune it. Tell me you didn't crash it. You better not have crashed it because I'm coming through Oklahoma. I wanted to see it. See, LS3 intakes for an NA car. LS3 intakes for a non-NA car. LS3 intake is one of the best intakes ever made. Hands down, most power over the curve. And honestly, I think I'm going to put one back on Wendy's car because we ran the fastest with that intake. And it looked cool. The BS between GPI and Prey, give us the beans. They're both good people, man. I don't get into it. I'm friends with both of them, and I support both of them 100%. So they both have really good ideas. They're both, very good at what they do with the NA stuff. I think it's the toxic NA Camaro crowd that kind of brings that out more, right? Honestly, I do think they do it just to troll people, but I don't know. They're both good people, very good people. Let's see. I know you've been busy. How much more do you think we need on my C6? You're already almost there. And you said you wanted to test it from a dig and all that, so I'm down for that. Just book the revision and let's get it done. I need your help. I have a 69 Mach 1. Fans aren't running. It's going to the big Mecum car show this weekend in Houston. I don't know how I can help you with that, but I'm not against it. If there's a way I can help you, just hit me up. What do you got in a race C7 Z06 Maggie 1,000 horsepower or 2024 Blackwing, same setup? Who do you got in a race? C7Z with a Maggie 1,000? Boy, that's rough because the Blackwing, the shifts, if you haven't seen our Blackwing video, the shifts on that 10-speed are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fastest auto trans shift I've ever seen in my entire life. Most responsive I've ever seen. But it's heavier than a C7. So I don't know. Plus, we got to see how the Blackwings do at the track. Because of C7s, believing. So we'll see. I don't really know. Head-to-head from a roll, Blackwing might take it due to gearing advantage. 2.3 upper, 10-inch lower for an LT4, still efficient on a stock blower. If you have proper cam and proper fueling and proper everything, absolutely, we do it on several cars. I don't know if I should be saying that because it depends on who's tuning it too. You got to be careful with that because that is pushing it pretty hard. I want a cam. I would like to hear a chop. I mean, then you would do the cam, but cam and meth, you could easily get away with that. So, SMG just shipped my dual kit. You better use my name on checkout, fool. If not, you lose that money. Boostly, I emailed you the stock files for you to compare on my truck. Let me know what you think. I will definitely do that. Thank you for the donation. I pulled it up, but I was like, oh crap, I was doing a consultation. I got one consultation to do after this live, and then I'll get on that and I'll shoot it over to you. If you're asleep, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but I'll get that for you. He didn't specifically say that. Oh, I'm getting there. Thank you. Okay, Tyler didn't wreck the car. I mean, it still doesn't make me feel super good because obviously you messed something up. You better get you a wideband, John. Quit playing. Put the wideband on it. Can I hit 900 with this fueling? LT4, high pressure fuel pump, injectors, DSX aux, low side, and meth. Yes. Yes, you can. How do you run the aux through the reflex? Oh, Taylor, you just you basically you have to put a solid state relay in there, and then the pulse width control for the solid state goes to the reflex, and then we set it up based on output duty. I can fix all that. Broke the torque tube. See if a C7 torque tube. No, because it's a manual. Damn. Find one in Houston. We'll bring it up to you. Because I know they got them in Houston. I'll still smoke every NA truck in this bitch and half the boosted ones too with the doo-doo trans tune. But imagine what you'd smoke if you weren't smoking clutches. Long-time follower, LT1 Tuning. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Taylor, FYI, the pink still won't come off that intake. I was about to say, can we get it back, Taylor? Let me get it back. Mark, what's your opinion on the Blue Cat trans tuning tool? I used to use that back in the day, man, and it works really well. I don't use it anymore. Haven't used it in a long time, but I know some people still use it, and they use it for other things as well. So, yeah, Blue Cat was a OG, and I guess still is, right? But can you make any 10L80 shift like a Blackwing? Ask me that again when I get home to Houston, because I am merging some things and making some things happen, and I'm going to try to do that to Wendy's car. So I will test it, and if her car shifts like that, y'all are all fucked. And I think it will, because I did test it in a truck remotely, and he said it was a night and day difference. But it takes a lot of work to make that work. But yes, I think it's going to be there. I think it's going to change the 10 speed up a little better. Not that they didn't shift good already, but I mean, Mo Betta's Mo Betta. Also, thank you for the answer. Do you think it's worth porting the throttle body, or just the manifold is fine? I don't port throttle bodies. I hate ported throttle bodies. I hate cheap throttle bodies. So please spend the money on a proper throttle body, or leave it the hell alone. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Please don't mess that up. All right, real quick, if you're on Instagram or Facebook and you're watching this, I'm going to give this a little bit longer. This was not supposed to be an hour-long live, but whatever, we're here. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, make sure to come over to Tuned In with JWT on YouTube. Support the channel, help us out, check out our membership options, and help us help you. All right. I didn't know you just said NLT4. You didn't say Carissa's LT4. Yeah, absolutely. Turn that shit up. She has port. We're good. What was the code for SMG? Justin White. I think it's just straight Justin White. If it doesn't work, holler at me. I'll figure out why. Some of these questions are starting to get a little annoying. Whatever. I'm here for it. Yeah, you got to remember, a lot of those things, a lot of things that I really hate is when I go in these groups and they're like, oh, that was a stupid question. Well, it might have been a question you would have had when you started getting into this. So you got to remember, right? Everybody's got to learn, and not many people have access to ask somebody that's got, this long in the game. So I'm going to answer all of them. It is what it is. You never know, right? Still coming to Houston this weekend. I texted you last week about tuning the car. Sent you pictures of the fuel setup. Yeah, Los. Remember, we're going to meet around the 7th. So on my way back. Uh-oh. Fury got hurt. He good? He's good. When is the membership releasing? It should be active now, because I've already had a couple people sign up. So if you're not on the membership, silver, gold, whatever, make sure, hit it up, please. And then make sure to buy them shirts at justinwhitetoon.shop for the giveaway stuff. Can we all try to get new info out of this man? He speaks a lot. He speaks about a lot of you guys' questions in older videos. Yeah, that is something, and I'll give you that. If you watch the other lives, even the daily stuff, and I always make sure to toss in good tidbits every now and then in our dailies. stuff that I normally wouldn't just tell people, just to kind of see if you're following. So if you're following along and you're watching our daily stuff, there's a lot of stuff hidden in there. If you know, you know. But yeah, watch the other lives and kind of try to get questions there. That way these stay interesting and we stay on, newer topics and things like that. Because we want to make sure that we have time for everybody and we're not just asking the same repetitive questions. But I'm still not going to rule you out because I'm not a dick. I mean, I could be, but I'm not. My car is tuned on full E85. I'm on port injection as well. Can I throw C85 in it, or does it need to be dialed in for that? You should definitely make adjustments for C85. You should never just throw that in. Andrew again. Yeah, man. The dog box I meant T56 replacement. How different is the LSA versus LS9 other than the blower? Is the Circle D podcast next? Yes, Circle D drops Friday. Tons of information for people that are like, oh, I need this big stall or this or that. I actually asked all the questions to make sure that you know how this stuff really works and kind of the things that we've gone through, the things we've learned over the years. Really good. The shop tour is already out. It's already posted. So you can kind of see how their gigantic operation works. But yeah, Friday, we should have that podcast out. And then we still have a couple more to go. We've got Unique Customs, which is a really cool brand new muscle car thing. Yeah, we're going to do both in one, right? Yeah, I think so. We got Unique Customs coming out. We got Robert from Force Performance, which was probably the most I've ever learned on a podcast ever. And then we also have the compressed air supercharging guys. David, that was a really kick-ass podcast too. So, but to answer your question, on the dog box stuff, watch our Liberty episode, because on the Liberty episode, they talk about the T56 stuff that they do, because there's a lot that they do to the gears and the different treatments. And they also do the face plating and stuff like that. But anyways, they talk about dog boxes too. So they would definitely answer that. LSA versus LS9. The main difference between LSA and LS9 is the cylinder heads have titanium intake valves. The ports, I think, are about the same. The LS9 has bigger studs. I think it's 11 millimeter or 12, one of the two. I don't remember. LS9 has titanium rods. It has billet steel main caps. It has a different crank sensor, crank reluctor. There's a lot of different. The LS9 is superior, but it's just hard to swap into things. If you have anything more specific, Andrew, you can always message me, man. You've always helped us out here. 10L80, 10L90, same thing. Same thing. I've actually run a 10L90 tune and a 10L80, and it works fine. Turbo Camaro, at what point do you upgrade from factory throttle body to a Nick Williams? You don't. I made 1700 through a stock throttle body. I tried to put a 103 on it to see if it would gain anything, and it didn't. So I would assume that you don't need it. Can you run an SMG without a controller? I have an ATSV, don't really have a port controller box. Yes, you can run it on a regular Hob switch, which is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, the pressure spike, it's not really a thing. Not really a problem. Because remember, you're running it into a high pressure pump. But yeah, they have several different options for their aux pump setups. Can you tune a Gen 3 with a 4L60? Yeah, anybody can tune that. That's cake. That's where we started, back in the gap. The Circle D video was actually really good. It took a lot of editing. There's a lot of stuff that he didn't want to release. So that's why it's taken us so long to get it out. But yeah, definitely really cool to kind of see how these converters are made and the new things that they're implementing into their converter building process. Bolt-ons, pulley, cam, and an aux pump on an LT4 could make how much with an ethanol blend? I mean, with that setup, with enough methanol, if you're putting methanol on it, you can make up to 900, I think, 8 something pretty easily. Without methanol, 750, 800. I'd say 750, 800 probably. ×2 on tuning Gen 3 combo with a 60. Yeah, we can do this. It's not a problem. How many 2022 plus LT4s have you seen where the main bearings end up in the valley? Matt, come on. That's been happening since 2015, bro. You know that. If you haven't checked out Matt's stuff and you're looking to learn some tuning stuff, dude's got some killer info on his channel. He's just giving it out there. He's got a subscription thing too. I subscribed. You guys should subscribe too. He's dropping the knowledge, and he's the one that's kind of helped me get the idea for this membership thing, and try to be positive and help the community. But look, you could just throw the LSX main bearing in it. It's totally fine. That's what I did. Huh? Oh, we still be in town on the 11th. Me and Sal want to take the cars on the dyno. Yeah, I get there on the 10th. Of course, I'll be there on the 11th. Let's set it up. Shout out to Wendy for the vid intro. Yep, she kicked ass on it, even though it flagged us for copyright music.
It took a long time.
Yeah, whatever. The intro's cool, so we'll leave it. We'll share it. We don't care. I spend money with this man. He's the truth. I appreciate his time in doing this. It's work. Nobody hurt me. I just want people. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I figured you were going to come back to that one. I was going to let you handle that. Hey, Justin, I just talked to you recently about tuning my Camaro. I can't wait for you to tune it. Will the stock MAF work with a big gulp, or do I need a different MAF? Yeah, stock MAF works fine. He has jokes, but he has info. And, man, we had a really killer 2-hour conversation, and he's a wealth of knowledge. Definitely a benefit to the community. Proud bodies, case in point, me driving 5.5 hours one way as we speak. Oh, he's talking about something else. Oh. Hey, how's the tune going in Twin C8? We ran into a torque limit, which I'm gonna figure out. And then when I go to Houston, there's one that I may be able to mess with and kind of do a little bit of R&D with. We have one here, but it's still stuck at the dealership with the cluster not working. So as soon as that gets out the dealership, I'll have that one too. And we'll perfect this twin turbo setup. But C8s and Blackwings, we're full underway. We're full underway with Global B. I'm asking questions, working with other tuners. We're getting everything going. So get ready. Global B is it's gonna go hard. Cyber, let's see some C6 merch. He sent us $20. You gotta do some C6 merch. Oh, she said coming soon. Yeah, because the C6 just looks so good in the shirts. I mean, not that good, but like pretty good. He's gonna flame me for that one. LS3 versus LS7 depends on what you're trying to do. I know in the NA game, the LS7 head is superior, but in the boost game, I know it's got advantages, but I don't know if it's enough to offset the cost and the complication of running them. What is your preference on injectors, port/LS? I hear so many mixed reviews on data across the board. I mean, the best injectors in the business are ID. They're hands down. FID as well. I've been working with Tom for a long time. I love his injectors. Outside of that, I mean, when you're doing port setup, I hate to say the injector data is not as critical, but it's not as critical. But I like the OEM extended tip 80s. That's what I usually run. That's what's in my car. So that's my preference. Everybody has a preference. But you can't go wrong with, some IDs or some FIDs. All right. Can you run your setup in your C7 in an 18 Camaro SS? Absolutely. Same way, same setup. And the Camaro can go even lighter, so it could go even faster. Stop texting through the thing. What can I expect with a build consultation? How should I be prepared to make the best of the time? So basically the way the build consultations are is I'll shoot you a text ahead of time and kind of just get an idea of what we want to discuss, because I like to do a little bit of research ahead of time to make sure that I answer all your questions properly. And then it'll be a phone call. I don't really limit them. If you know that you have enough questions for an hour, please select the hour one. But basically it's a one-on-one. You tell me your build. I'll tell you what I feel, you could benefit. Really any questions you have. It kind of just gives you, 30 minutes to an hour to kind of talk about anything you want to talk about and get the information you need. But it is typically a phone call, and I think that's the best way. And then once we're done, and if you're like, oh man, I forgot to ask this, because that always happens, I give you the option to shoot me a text, and I'll add that to it. It's not really so much about this much per hour. It's more about showing that you're willing to pay for the information. So I want to make sure I give you, your money's worth and then some. If you haven't noticed, that's kind of my gig here. Experience/feedback on oilless comp turbos. I hear they have a 2-year warranty. I don't give a shit what warranty. I'm not swapping that shit out. every time they blow up and praying that it doesn't go through my motor. Hit up Force Performance, talk to Robert, let him give you some turbos that you don't have to worry about. What do you think about the L83 with the 6L80 platform? I'm starting twin turbo build. I know it's going to be a big brick. Yeah, but we've made some pretty serious power with these trucks with the 6L80s, especially when they're four-wheel drive and you can actually put the power down. So no issue with it. I mean, the motor itself, hopefully you do rods and pistons with it, but you know. I appreciate the support, but don't fight, man. You guys are both supporters. Let's work this together. All right, that was a lot more. So real quick, we're gonna go back through the membership stuff. That's what this haul was about. I know we did some Q&A too, because I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging. But membership, we have $2.99, which is your basic membership. Get you the. Let me get my computer back going so I don't mess this up. The membership bronze gives you loyalty badges, membership only chat or members only chats, priority comments, replies, things like that. Then we have our silver, which I think is a really good deal, $9.99, early access to the videos. You get to see it first. Member shout outs, which I'll start doing on probably the next live. I'll start adding those. Kind of give you a shout out in the beginning, maybe towards the end as well. But also members only videos, which will be more tech specific. It'll honestly be a video on whatever you ask me, right? You guys are like, man, I want to see how the track stuff goes, how this goes, how that goes. That's where the members only videos will go. Outside of that, watch our daily videos. There's a lot of stuff in those, which you'll still have information coming out on the daily videos. We'll still do tech tips Tuesdays every now and then. But the members only stuff will have a lot more in depth. And then the gold membership, $49.99, that gives you direct access to, tuning questions, support questions. I'm tuning this car, I'm stuck, can you help me? If you just need priority access and you just want to help out the channel, that as well. If you keep the gold membership for 6 months, we'll figure out an amount, but it'll be, $150, $200 off a tuning session. So, just something to kind of give back for the money that you spent. And don't forget the giveaway at every 200 shirts sold, or is it 200 shirts or 200 items? Shirts. Okay. Every 200 shirts sold, we will select somebody and they will be given a free tune or a free tune revision, or they can gift that to someone else. No problem. And then I think randomly we're going to pick and choose certain people to just send free stuff to, just to help out. And to get that, it's justinwhitetoon.shop. So make sure you go there, get some shirts, show support, hit your membership stuff, and help us grow. And next Wednesday, we will definitely, we'll be back next Wednesday, obviously, to do our usual every other Wednesday live. Do you need? No, Aaron, you're a specific case. You're special, and we're going to work yours every day until we figure it out. Yeah. I'm kind of sad that I just come across his channel. I've seen his stuff before, but I guess I didn't watch to see how much he really put out there. And I think I've watched pretty much every video he has, and wealth of knowledge to the community. Probably I'd say comparable to actually going to a tuning school. If you actually pay attention and you have a pretty good basic understanding of things. But I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the people that donated, and are supporting this thing. Make sure you spread this out, share it to your friends, tell people, hey man, if you watch this, pitch in, come in the lives. The more you share this, the more of a community we can make, the more I can convince tuners and other businesses to come in and help us grow this even bigger. So, I rely on you guys, and hopefully I'm fulfilling everything you ask. And we're going to keep these, the podcast going, everything going so far. Everything's doing pretty well, I believe. Last for me, what shop channels do you watch the most? Honestly, I don't really watch any shop channels. I don't. Yeah, I watch nerdy stuff on YouTube. So if it's like the tuning stuff that I look for is Shane T. So Shane Tecklenburg. He's a Motec tuner, badass in all aspects. I watch his stuff. I watch Matt Sanford stuff. really don't know what other tuning based stuff I really watch. There's quite a bit. You know what? I'll write that down for the next live. I'll go through my YouTube watch history and I'll weed out all the nerdy stuff I watch, and then I'll see what other, other channels I've gotten some information. But there's a lot out there. But anyways, that'll wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I know this live was supposed to be quick and it wasn't, and Furio just got hurt again. So I will see you next Wednesday, and thank you again. Oh, real quick, I didn't end it. I do not watch RPM, CSP, LMP, LMR. I do watch some Steve Morris stuff. I don't watch the others. It's not that I don't support them or think that they're doing good. I'm just being honest with you. I haven't watched them. I'll go through and see if I can find some information in there. You know what? I did watch some CSP stuff. He has a couple good tidbits I found in there, but Steve Morris is the only other one. I don't watch any of the other ones, but I'll go through it. Anyways, see y'all next time. Thank you for tuning in. If I can end the stream.